Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Good morning, Chris, Corey, Greasy, and Rico. How are y'all doing? Morning, Shadow. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Morning, Jeremy, Benton, Binge. Did y'all do some studying this weekend? Anybody get some good study time? Trader Joe, good morning. All right, y'all, look, here's a breaker on the 1 minute. Reached right up into it. I have some nice sell side liquidity going on, but what I'm looking for is a run up into this 15-minute efficiency and drop. It's kind of what I'm looking for. Yeah, I know you didn't study, Chris. Mr. Refused to study. Morning. Yeah, I agree, Shadow. Chiefs lost. Watched that. I think everybody was rooting for him except for maybe two people. Rooting for him to lose, I mean. I was rooting for him to lose. Then, of course, Jalen Hurts is from right down the road from me. His high school is probably 20 minutes away. So I got to pull for him. All right, so let's break this down. Hey, but see, that's the thing. The Chiefs have been around and been good long enough to turn into the villain. Yeah, that defense from the Eagles, I don't know if y'all watch football, man, that was just crazy. The whole defense should have won an MVP of the Super Bowl. That was wild. Chris. All right, y'all. So let's break this down. There's no news today, so we may get a move early. We're still in this zone on the daily chart. So I've switched back to neutral for the moment on my bias. We've reached down, but now price is up here. We do have some nice daily buy side liquidity up here. We still have some nice sell side liquidity down here. What I'll be watching for, though, is if price reaches down, I'll be watching the midpoint of this wick right here. This is what I'll be watching right here. If we get a sell-off, another sell-off, I'll be watching that. If you look here at this wick, we had the midpoint here, which today we reached pretty much exactly to the midpoint of that one. So it's going to be an interesting watch. But if we have a sell-off and run down, that's where I'd be watching this wick. So drop to the 15-minute here. We have this big inefficiency right here. This price is inefficient in this zone. Why? Because it has not traded up through it on any time frame. We reached up here, and then look at it under here. This is a lot of nice sell side liquidity going on here. Now remember, we have CPI Wednesday. Price action, we never know on Monday because CPI is always on Wednesdays for the most part. So price action Monday and Tuesday could be weird. Price action on Monday would probably be, it's a 50-50. Tomorrow is definitely, I'm not touching the market at all. And then we have Jerome Powell speaking at 10. So definitely not touching the market. Tomorrow's going to be terrible. So today can be iffy. It can be iffy because of all that, because of Tuesday and Wednesday. So we may not see a price run up into here, but I think we will. But also what I was looking for is a move up into it and then a drop through sell side. We have a new day or the new week opening gap down here as well. So from the close here and then the market opened way down here. So that's the new week opening gap is from 464.75 all the way up here to why do I have this brown one? Oh, right, all the way up here to 575. So a little over 100 points. So because of that, I'll also mark the midpoint of it. So I think price is going to run down here. It's just, Does it wait for Wednesday? I wouldn't expect to see much expansion today and tomorrow. Definitely not tomorrow, but today maybe not even as well. So, and if you drop down to the 5-minute, I mean, price has not, ran up anywhere into there really much. So this is going to be my minor buy side liquidity here. I'm expecting price to run down here below this 684 area. I would prefer to see a run up here. However, it doesn't have to happen because we do have a breaker on the 5-minute and 1-minute right here. So, and then you can see right here, we have this 5-minute fair value gap. So we'll see if this holds up, because this wick shows that this is now traded through, right? It traded through it. And then we'll see if the lower half holds on here on the 1-minute. It's basically what I'm looking for. So if we drop down, and if it doesn't, then price could go ahead and run up into this 15-minute one. And then that's where I'd be waiting for the price to drop. Yeah, my new week opening gap, I labeled it the 9th because that was yesterday. My new day opening gaps, I label them the day of. So that's basically what I'm looking for today. We'll see what happens. Here's our first presented fair value gap here. That's weird. Changed colors on me. I'm expecting it to come down, though. So ICT put out a video this weekend that was absolutely gold. If y'all, man, I don't know what I got to do to get Chris to study, but if Chris could study, it might snow again here in Houston. I don't know, something. But this video ICT put out this weekend, I just want to show y'all real quick. Algorithmic price delivery continuum. Watch that. It don't matter where you are. No, I'm not linking you, Chris. I link you all the time and you never watch. This one, man, it don't matter where you are in your ICT studies, but this video here, it don't matter where you are, what model you're using. This video here is pure gold. I've literally watched it over 10 times. Literally over 10 times. Saturday morning. So Saturday mornings are always my study time. And I watched that video Saturday morning on repeat. I mean, at least 3 or 4 times. And then throughout the day, a couple more. And then Sunday also. It's just that good. I took that off. It shouldn't be on there. The 80% off. Yeah, that's from ICT himself. I'll link it. Hold on. Oh, that's weird. It didn't save. It left the Apex flyer on. Huh. Well, let me take it off again. It's weird it didn't save. No biggie. No biggie. All right, hold on. Let me get that video and let me link it. Let me throw it in the chat. Cause I'm talking that video is that good.
It's fine for you.
No, it's not a Shotgun Saturday video. Those are pretty good too. But you know, Shotgun Saturday videos are him basically saying whatever he wants. Semi rant, semi knowledge, which is fine. I like to listen to some of that stuff too. But yeah, this is just part of his 2025 lecture series. I mean, just amazing stuff. He talks about how to know when fair value gaps are going to happen, how to know when they're rebalanced, when they're inefficient, how every 15 minutes there should be a new fair value gap form, like every quarter. So basically like 10:15, 10:30, 10:45, 11 a.m. And he says if they don't, then you're in high resistance liquidity conditions. It's just all golden nuggets. The whole thing. See, we are holding some support here on this first presented fair value gap, which that's fine. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do. I forgot to check for this opening range gap. So we got the low, and we opened here. And 676.25. Opening range gap. There we go. And we got, let's see, 588. Yeah. It might not come down because it's over 100-point gap there. So might not come down today anyways. Or fill in the gap, I should say. But my sell side, where's that sell side liquidity? There we go. There's the run up. Sell side liquidity I have at, look at that, right above the middle of the opening range gap, which that's great. Let me throw up the fib here real quick and leave it on there on the 0.25. Right there. That way I can see if price does come down there. That could be a target. So leave that there, which would be right up under here, right where this volume imbalance is on the 1 minute. So that's nice. All right, so here's a minor buy side liquidity. Just ran up through it. Look, that's from the data low from last week. Let me also, man, I'm slacking this morning. I forgot. I didn't even put my London session, and I didn't put my midnight opening price. Man, slacking. Got London low right here. Where are you? London low. Got London's high right there. All right. And then where's my midnight opening price? Slacking. Here it goes. Here goes midnight opening price right there. All right. Now we're good. Too many chicken wings. Yeah, I didn't do anything for the Super Bowl, but my son he invited some of his teammates over to come over and hang out. So I just put the game on for them and order some pizza and stuff. I don't just use a fib for that gap because I don't like too many levels. So I don't like to leave it there. It's too cluttered, especially when we're not so far away from it. The only time I leave a the only time I leave the fib is if it's over 120 points and I want to see the 0.25. Other than that, I just want to see the levels because I have no reason to see anything else. Yeah, I love wings, but man, they could tear me up. They could tear me up. And I typically play basketball on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, like early in the morning, like at 5 in the morning. But so I don't like to have my stomach tore up. I didn't play this morning though because wife's out of town and I have kid duty in the mornings. So I guess I could have had my wings. I did make some queso, some chili con queso though. It's probably the best batch I've ever made. So good. So pizza and queso, can't go wrong with that. But yeah, I agree. Gotta have some wings. So basically today, this morning, I'm not gonna be overly eager to trade today. Um, I'm okay. Like what I would really, if price goes up, I want to see the midpoint, which is this dotted line on the 15-minute. I want to see this hold up here. I would like to see this hold up in this area. I'm really not expecting a whole lot. Let's see here. I need to mark. So we have all these gaps in here too, these fair value gaps, which we did reach into. Which is probably is it a 1 hour? Maybe a 30-minute. It's probably a 30-minute fair value gap. Yeah, it's got to be a 30-minute one. But if you look at that, look at the midpoint right here. Another little one there. You see how this push up? This is a 930 bar. And then here we're reaching up and no fair value gap up. So I would be curious to see. Well, also, see, I'm getting a little bit of mixed for the moment. There's a little bit of mixed information. But look how it, on the 5-minute, just use this as an inversion right here. See if it holds as an inversion. I'm going to get rid of this. This is just clutter. So we'll see. I'm just going to let it play out because price very well could today just go higher. And because of CPI Wednesday, I mean, might not get any type of move I'm excited about. So we'll see. And see this fair value gap right here. It's not one I would look to trade at all. Just because we have a 1-minute fair value gap, I'd really like to see us reclaim this 5-minute, if anything. Now I will watch and see if we get this little fair value gap right here. I would like to see the first presented get traded through first, but we'll see. I have a strong bias that we should go lower. But it immediately rebalanced here. Now we have these inversions, right? We did technically reclaim this 5-minute, but it's not really, not sure if it's going to really hold up. We'll see. Then we have this as an inversion right here. $9.51 now. I'd be looking to run between the basically 676 to 720. This is where I'd be looking for price to go. Yeah, this fair value gap right here. Reached into it a little bit, halfway point nearly, drop. Waiting. All right, back up in this inversion. If I took inversions, I'd probably enter right there. I don't take inversions. So let's see. Let's measure this leg here. Right, that inversion is right at equilibrium. I want to see it trade right up to this, back to this 1 minute fair value gap right here and hold. That's what I'd really like to see. If we could pull back up to here and this hold as resistance, that would be pretty nice for me. But the issue though for me still is I could see price going a little bit higher before it wants to drop. So we'll see. I have to see what it's like here. All right, I'm going to clear off some of this stuff here because it's getting a little too cluttered. But see, that sell side liquidity to me is just too. There's too much. It's too strong. I think it should reach down here. This 684, 680 area. It very well could be high resistance liquidity conditions because of, well, for one, we're not getting any fair value gaps. And then for two, none on the 15 minute anyways. And for two, like I said already, today and tomorrow price action might not be the best. Tomorrow for sure, but today, let's take it with a little bit of caution. See, days like this, I hate days like this. I don't know about y'all, but I hate days like this. The reason is because there's no news today either. So like if we at least had some kind of news driver, so we could see like terrible price action, maybe a little bit of a move, maybe this afternoon. But yeah, we'll see what happens right here in this 1 minute fair value gap. I want to see some support be built up here. If we can't build any support, resistance. If we can't build up any resistance in this area, then yeah, then I definitely believe we're going to head up here to around the 837 to 840-ish area. Yeah. Yeah. I don't disagree, Shadow. So I do like what it did here, but let's see if that stays that way or not. For the 15-second. Yep. See, at this point, if we're gonna go down, since we traded right up into here, that's where I want to see. I want to see it displays down now. Like if we don't get displacement down, then it's kind of like meh. And look at the 15-minute. Look at this wick. See, hit right into this 15-minute fair value gap. Reach back down again. That's close to the midpoint of the wick. Overshot just a tad. So yeah, we may not come down. And days like this is where people get chopped up and eaten up and bust accounts. Curious. All right, so we are building up a little bit of resistance, but you see how it's like really trying the bodies. You got to watch the bodies. The wicks can do the damage, but you got to watch the bodies. Let's see if the bodies continue to hold in the lower half of this fair value gap. I don't think we will. It's looking, yeah, it's looking pretty, looking like it wants to get up there. We'll see. We'll see. Here we go. See, now that it's doing this, we're going to invert this fair value gap. Price is going to head up here. And actually, it might. There's a 15-minute. We may see a complete rebalance of this 15-minute fair value gap because it's not that far away. Interesting. ES and NQ are not very. What about YM? I am not going to go long, no matter how it looks, because I'm definitely looking for a short today. And I don't want to get caught up in manipulation. This could be an order block right here. If we close below this, then we'd have a bearish order block. However, we'll see if we use this inversion or not to go up. Yeah, I noticed that 1 hour. Right here, overlapping with the 15-minute. So that's why I don't typically mark out 1 hour fair value gaps, because usually they're going to overlap with a 15-minute one. But it is good to see that we're traded right into the lower half here. But yeah. So basically, ICT's video that I was talking about is 10 a.m. We don't have a fair value gap, right? Nothing on the 15-minute. It's rebalanced everything, traded through all the 5-minute fair value gaps. So by 10:15, we should see a fair value gap form. If we don't, then more sign that we're in high resistance liquidity conditions. Hitting the new day opening gap from last week. Man, look at that. Yeah, I agree, Trader Joe. It was good. That video. Every now and then, as I'm watching his videos, there's some that'll just really stand out to me as just pure gold, and that was one of them. All right, let's see what we do on this 15-minute here. We may, I mean, it's going to be another 8.5 minutes before this bar closes, and then we'll have to wait another. So basically, it'll be 10:30 before you know if we get this fair value gap or not. But we're trading right up through the midpoint here. And see, I'm looking here too at because sometimes the thing is knowing when it's going to do, like you can know what it should do, but when it's going to do it, that sometimes has been like the thing I keep trying to refine and brush up on and get better at, because I can now identify areas that I'm like, okay, price should definitely go here. It should do this, should do that. But sometimes it's like, I'm like, if it doesn't do it, the morning session, maybe it'll be the afternoon. So sometimes it's like gauging when it'll happen is a little bit more difficult. So like this sell side liquidity here, like I know price is going to reach down through there. But when? That's the question, right? So, and I know price should rebalance this inefficiency. When? That's the question. Which one's it going to do first? So I know I've heard ICT many times say, if there's two areas, wait for one and then it'll go to the other. Same thing, like if there's sell side and buy side liquidity, internal range liquidity, external range liquidity, whatever it is, and you see two sides of interest that you think will have that it'll go to, then you wait for one, wait for it to go to one, then you look for it to go to the other. However, I'm looking, I know if you're more advanced, there's ways to see, to know. So like, since I know price should rebalance this inefficiency here, I'm looking as price reached down to this 15-minute fair value gap right here. And I think to myself, could this be the sign to say, okay, it's not going to reach for the sell side first. It's going to go here, and then it'll continue up. And then if I look at the 1 minute, this is where it reached into that 15-minute. And then we get our first presented fair value gap here. So is that the signal when we trade down into it that, okay, it's going to trade up and rebalance this entirely first, and then at another point come down to that sell side that I was mentioning? So those are things I always note and journal and try to figure out and see if they repeat and repeat and repeat. This is why you need to study, Chris. This is why you need chart reviewing, because you see it and you note it over and over and over. And then you have data and you can say, hey, all right, well, the last 20 times this happened. So the probability is this is going to happen. Hey, I wouldn't have said any of this, Chris, but you called yourself out this morning. Yeah. Yeah, REM trades. And typically, like, I look for reversals. Like that's my trade, right? Like I look for reversals. So after, I guess you could say after the 9:30 open, we just didn't really go very low for it to really call it a reversal. But so what I normally look for is like a manipulation move and then a reversal. And if I don't get it, like very clean to what I'm looking for, I'm just not going to take a trade. But, in hindsight, when you're studying, it's like, okay, you could have looked at it this way. Ran into that 15-minute, built up some support here at the first presented fair value gap. came back in, held support again, you know, stuff like that. So now we do have a couple fair value gaps here on the 15 or 5 minute. Well, we have one so far. In 3 minutes, we'll have another if price stays up. And this could potentially be a bullish order block on the 5 minute. I'm gonna leave that there just in case price comes down to this area. Then I'll see if it builds up some support right in this area. See, we have this 1 minute fair value gap here. So I'd want to see if we hold that or invert it. We got a little bitty one here. Let me just go ahead and include this. I think it holds though, because at this point, like I said, I'm sure we're going to run all the way up here. Fill that in. That's just not my trade entry. So my model. So it's looking likely that I likely won't get a trade today. That's okay. You know, like I said, coming into this year, patience for me this year is key. Patience. Wait for exactly what I'm looking for. Take the shot. Be the sniper. Yeah. And I was debating on trading to even opening charts today or not, just because of the CPI Wednesday and no news today. Figured price action is not going to be very nice. I mean, that's the thing too. Even if you can determine where price is headed, doesn't mean it's going to be very clean or go straight there, even if you could read it. The only way I would even consider a short, if you look at the 15 minute here, we would have to, in these next 15 minutes, rebalance, do an immediate rebalance here. If we leave any of this open at all, there's zero chance I'd be going looking for a short. So, but more than likely, because we already traded down through this one pre-market or at the open Pre-market, it hit it, and then at the open, it traded right in the middle of it here. More than likely, we're going to get this fair value gap. Because there's no reason for it to rebalance this, because it already traded inside this one. So I don't see any reason for it to not leave this one here. It should leave it there, and then, like I said, trade up and rebalance this completely. That'd be my bet. Oh, 80% just dropped. Yep, there you go. 80% off just dropped. Use code WIN. Let me see. Let me see. Until the February 19th. So we have 9 days. 80% off, 1 day to pass. $125 one-time PA fee across the board. Okay, so everything's the same as this last one, basically, except for instead of a $100 PA fee, it's a $125 PA fee. So I was about to put my flyer back up, but I have a $100 PA fee marked on there, so it's $125, 80% off, and then $125 for PA fee. So I need to make that adjustment, and then I can put my flyer back on, Chris. But I definitely appreciate you spotting that, Chris, because I didn't know it. Put it back, my flyer back up there. By the way, y'all, hey, if y'all need a VPS, if you don't know what a VPS is, if y'all need a VPS, check out Edge Trader. That company is a new company, beats every single VPS company out there, even beats Ninja Mobile Trader. And that company, Edge Trader, was founded and created by one Chris, the giant alien. He created the company, Chris, right here in this chat. VPSs are great. So if those of you that were with me when I was trading Apex Sniper System, before I built my computer, I used a VPS, Ninja Mobile Trader, for like almost a year. And they're really good. There's a lot of reasons why you should use one. But then when I built my computer and I built a beast, I stopped using it, but there's still a lot of benefits. So check it out. I'll drop a link. But first, I need to remember what link it is. Hold on. Link. Where's my link? Man, there's not much. Yeah, see, we're doing another little accumulation here above the marketplace, and then we're going to probably displace up again and just keep distributing higher. Would be my guess. Oh. There we go. There it is. Yes, it is futuresniperbeast.com/VPS. And use my code BEAST for a discount. 20% off. I believe. Yeah, 20% off for the first month and recurring, Chris, I believe. Chris can confirm. I need a flyer. I need to make my flyer. I need to get some I need to pull an image. Edge Trader VPS image and make a little flyer. But yeah, lots of benefits to using a VPS. I'm gonna make a little video on it too, because for people that don't know it or how they work and all that good stuff, make a little video on the benefits. All right, so here, even if we get this move, like let's say we get a little push and what looks like a displacement and a bearish fair value gap, unless if we trade below all this, I am not looking for a short. And like I said, we're probably going to get a 15-minute fair value gap there. Like I, without a doubt, believe we're going to get this 15-minute fair value gap. So like this area would be an area that I would look if I were taking different setup entries. I would look to get long in this down here. Even if we see like a little bit of a, like let's say the 15-minute fair value gap forms and then we see a trade a little bit into it, I would look to go long in there all the way up to this 893-ish to 900. Half price resets, 80% off till February 19th. Got a little nice little time on this one, on this Apex sale. Yeah, see, then we're going to get a little fair value gap here. This be a little bullish order block right here. And if we get a fair value gap, that might not be a bad entry, to be honest. This little right here. Because we have reason to go higher. Some people might say, oh, you're buying the top. But if we trade right here, especially if we hit this order block, trade right in here and continue up. There we go, hitting that order block. A little low risk entry at 848, stop at 35. I'm actually going to go for it. I'm going to go long right here. It's not a... Oh, I got filled way up here. But it's not a... it's kind of like a little low risk here. I got a 20-point stop. I got filled at not quite where I wanted. I wanted to get filled at this order block. But let's see if we can catch this one here. So this isn't my typical entry, but we'll see if we catch it. If we go and take these highs, I'll move to break even. We shouldn't trade below the middle of this order block here. So if we close below that, then I'll probably just close my trade. But we should displace up and continue up here. If we take these highs, though, like I said, I will move to break even just because this isn't my typical entry pattern that I like to trade. And I don't want to be wrong. See, I like how it tapped the order block, came up and body closed at the middle of this fair value gap. So I want to see some displacement up. If it starts looking a little too heavy, then I may move to break even faster. And really, I could put my stop underneath this swing low here because it should not trade back under there. And actually, that's what I'm going to do. Put my stop there so that way I have a really small risk. Like, very small. Because it should not come back below that order block. There, we're taking the high now. Taking those highs. I'm going to go to break even plus cover costs and commissions there. So now the trade is free. And let's see if we can make it up there and rebalance this. If this -1 deviation, though, if we really hesitate and find it hard to get through there, then I may close the trade or tighten up. But see, we'll see. It could trade it back into this fair value gap a little bit, but we'll see. I'm okay if I get stopped out of this because, like I said, this isn't my typical entry, and I'm at break even now, or I'm at covering some costs here and commissions. The trade is free, so I'm okay if it stops me out. Like, I'm fine with that. Let's see. Let's measure out this one here. And I don't want to see it trade or close below the midpoint of this bar. Yeah, stop me out. It wants to test this one more time. That's fine. Let's make sure all my stuff is closed. All right, everything's closed. See, it wanted to come back in here one more time before it goes, but it might not. Like I said, this isn't my typical entry. Even though my read, like, that would have been a nice scalp if I would have taken profit above these highs or tightened up right here where those highs were. But yeah, look at that. It wanted to come back in here one more time. And look where the body's closed. And now it'll probably distribute up, but all good. All good. I knew, like I said, I tightened up quicker than what I normally would on a trade just because it's not my normal entry pattern, even though I liked it a lot. But it came back and got me because I moved it too soon. And actually, see, if my entry, if I would have got entered right here where I said I wanted that entry, then I'd still be sitting at break even just fine. But I got filled up here. Let's see, let me throw my executions on. At 54.25. So that's the issue. And I guess I could have left it at break even, but it's all good. My thoughts on volume profile and order flow is this is the way I read the market is true order flow and volume profile. I don't like, I'm 100% convinced with ICT's logic on all that because I've seen it too much. I've looked when I traded the sniper system. It's based on order flow, right? Order flow, order prints, footprints, all that. And if you watch that video that I posted and mentioned from ICT this morning, he actually talks about all that. And because before I found ICT, there was so many times that I'm actually looking at the orders. Like, oh, there's 100 orders here. There's 50 orders here. There's no orders down here. There's no way price can go any lower. Well, then you just see price go lower, like regardless of orders. And I was always like, how does it make any sense? So whenever I started hearing ICT and him talking about algorithmic price delivery and all that, and I'm like, that makes 100% sense. Why I've seen price do things the way I've done it before. He talks about your orders are the like orders. There is orders, right? There has to be orders because there has to be liquidity. You have to get filled. But the liquidity and the orders determine how you get filled or not. But price delivery is based on the algorithm and not the actual amount of orders. So he kind of splits it, and it makes sense how he describes it in the video. And it makes a lot of sense to me because, like I said, I used to trade order flow and order prints and look at literally the amount of orders in the marketplace and DOMs and all that and say, well, and then sometimes I'll just be like, well, how did price do this? It doesn't make sense because there's no orders in that area. Well, because of the algorithmic price delivery. So, hey, I don't know. It makes sense to me because I've seen it, both sides of it. Yeah, green is good. I mean, it's minimal. My P&L says $540, but across, look, I'll show you each account, minimal, but hey, it's okay because I took the risk and I mitigated my risk extremely quick, right? Like I wanted to get in right here at this order block, tap that order block. This is where I wanted to get in right here, 848. I did not. I got filled at 54, which this is live data and this is my live personal account, right? So it's not going to fill me at exactly, based on the sim environment. So I got filled here, which is fine. And if I would have left it at actual break even, I'd still be in. But I don't like to go at exactly break even when I move my stop. I like to go a couple points above because I want it to cover, the commissions and everything and any kind of spread stuff like that, especially trading 20 accounts. So it got me all good though. I'm fine with that because now it's just going to keep pushing up. And yeah, I'm just not going to get any more trade. But this goes into my notes, right? I got to journal this. Chris, got to journal this. Take a screenshot. What I was talking about earlier, how it delivered into this 15-minute fair value gap, held at the first presented, had reason to go up here and rebalance this entire 15-minute fair value gap before we get a run to that sell side liquidity. And on top of that, we had the opening range gap of more than 120 points. So highly likely that it's not going to come down. Let me lock it in because it's going to be there for the next time I trade. Well, we'll see because I'm not trading tomorrow. So again, reminder, I'm not trading tomorrow. I will not be streaming and I won't be touching a chart at all. See, now we're at that -1 deviation. All right, y'all. It is 10:35. It's likely to rebalance this completely. I have mixed feelings about my trade. I liked the trade itself. However, it's not my normal trade entry. So the reason why I have mixed feelings is because should I have even taken the risk because it's not my entry model, right? Like I'm trying to really be sticking to my one entry. I do want to expand into trades like that, but at the same time, when do I want to do that? Right? I'm doing just fine with how I'm doing. So it's all stuff that I have to, evaluate, note, journal, Chris. All right. We got that 15-minute fair value gap. So I knew we'd get that, and we got it. All right, y'all. I'm going to hop off here. It's already past my time. I took that trade. I got to shut it down because that's what I do. After I take a trade, I want to shut it down immediately. And I won't be trading tomorrow. So if y'all are going to trade, be very careful. Very, very careful. Oh, let me check the poll real quick. So 43% of you trade 100% ICT. 43% trade mixed. Wow, 43 and 43. And 14% don't trade with ICT at all. Which, I trade ICT concepts, but my streams and channel is not just like ICT, right? Like I'm not a believer in that's the only strategy that works. Like I think there's so many strategies that you can be profitable with. Do I believe that's how price is actually delivered now? Yes. But is that the only way to be profitable? No. Like profitability depends on your discipline and your money management. That's what it comes down to. If you check out my video if you haven't seen about win rate and probabilities, right? The higher win rate, it's all in ratios, right? So if you have a very low win rate, you need a high risk reward. If you have a very high win rate, you don't need such a high risk reward. So it's all numbers. So that's why I love trading, because I'm a numbers guy. So anyways, all right. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining. And as always, trade well. I'll see y'all Wednesday.